What's up, everybody? Curtis here. Welcome back to another video. And yeah, it's kind of a while since I've done a video like this where I just sit down and kind of like talk to the camera. So with the big news that came out of AEW Dynamite, AEW New Japan Forbidden Door pay-per-view, June 26th, I believe it is. Yeah, so big pay-per-view coming up. Forbidden Door, New Japan X AEW, and yeah, so I don't know if this is New Japan versus AEW, or if this is like AEW have half a card, New Japan have half a card, kind of like New Japan and ROH did at at their show they had in Madison Square Garden, which was a bit of a disaster. But so hopefully this one isn't. But well, that the ROH half of that card was a bit of a disaster. But yeah, I fit in AEW. So yeah, I was originally going to do a my career video today, but since this happened, this announcement last night by Tony Khan, I decided, you know what? Let me sit down and let me give my 10 kind of matches I would like to see. And I've done this as New Japan going against AEW, so they're New Japan versus AEW matchups. So yeah, I was going to do fantasy booking, but instead I'm just going to go 10 matches I'd like to see instead of booking out everything. So yeah, I'm going to just quickly give an honourable mention to Jericho Appreciation Society for match number 11. And this is literally just a match to get Tetsuya Naito on the card. So it's going to be Jericho Appreciation Society's Jericho, Daniel Garcia, and then either or probably just go Jake Hager against Los Ingobernables de Japon's Bushi, Sanada, and Tetsuya Naito. Of course, there's history between Jericho and Naito. There's history between Jericho and LIJ from his feud with Naito. So you can play off that. Yeah, so that's just kind of an honorable mention, because I wanted to try get Jericho and Naito on the card, because I feel like they both will, especially Naito, if fully fit. So yeah, let's get into the actual matches I've listed, and go from there. So yeah, as you see, I will be putting graphics up, and the first match that I did go for, this is the most dream match I have. This is the most out there match I have. This is the one where chances of this one happening are probably slim. But as you've seen, I've gone for Red Dragon, of course, Bobby Fish and Kyle O'Reilly against the Young Bucks, against Roppongi Vice, which of course is Trent Beretta and Rocky Romero, against the reuniting Time Splitters, Kushida, Alex Shelley returning, reuniting. Of course, this is coming off the back of the news of Kushida leaving NXT. He's officially left WWE, and apparently sources close to WWE reports are saying, believe Kushida will be back in New Japan in June sometime. This show is taking place in June. Could this be Kushida's return to New Japan that everyone is kind of expecting? So yeah, I've put him together with Alex Shelley, because if you give me a chance to fantasy book Alex Shelley, I will. And yeah, this is, I would love if they booked this match, but it is kind of an out there match that I don't see booking. But to me, this is a throwback of when I kind of first started getting into New Japan around 2014, 2015. You know, that 2014, 2015, these four teams kind of carried that junior tag division for a couple of years. You know, this is the New Japan junior tag division that, you know, was around when I got in. So it's literally a throwback for me to see that tag division going at it once again. It's literally just a throwback to that old junior tag division. It will be a fantastic matchup for unbelievable teams. You know, this would absolutely steal the show if they booked it. So yeah, first match, Beretta and Roppongi Vice, Time Splitters, Bucks and Red Dragon. Like, who says no to that? Next up, it's a match that I wanted to see last year. We got it close to it. You know, they were in 2 tag team matches, of course. Suzuki-gun, Archer, and Suzuki teamed up against Eddie Kingston and John Moxley. But for this, I've gone for Kingston and Suzuki one-on-one. You know, I wanted to see this last year when Suzuki was doing that feud with Moxley. We didn't get it, so why not get it here? You know, Eddie Kingston, a lot of his style is that old All Japan Kings Road style, and I feel like putting him in with Minoru Suzuki, it's just going to be a big brawl. It's going to be a war. It's going to be strong style. It's going to be unbelievable action. So yeah, match number 2 that I've gone for. A match that I wanted to happen last year. Of course, we got it in tag team action, but we never got it one-on-one. So give it to us one-on-one here. Minoru Suzuki, Eddie Kingston. Again, that would be an all-out classic of a matchup between Kingston and Suzuki there. Next up, I've gone for a similar style matchup to Kingston and Suzuki. I've gone for that strong style, the hard-hitting offense. I've gone for the Samoan submission machine Samoa Joe versus the Stone Pitbull Tomohiro Ishii. This match has never happened. I looked it up on Cage Match. I got no results. So a first time meeting this will be between Joe and Ishii. And again, it would similar to what I said about Kingston and Suzuki. I feel like the styles will mesh perfectly. Strong style, hard chops, hard hitting action. Similar to Samoa Joe versus Minoru Suzuki from AEW Dynamite recently. You know, that was hard hitting offense. It was perfect. And yeah, again, Joe Ishii, it would be a war, and it's a war that I would happily sign up to witness. So yeah, match 3 that I've gone for out of my 10 dream matches or fantasy matches that I would like to see at Forbidden Door. The Samoan Submission Machine, the Stone Pitbull, Joe versus Ishii. Next up, I've gone for another tag team matchup. I've gone for FTR, Dax Harwood and Cash Wheeler against the team of Aussie Open, Kyle Fletcher, Mark Davis. I love Fletcher and Davis. They're one of my favourite teams in professional wrestling. Of course, FTR, one of the greatest teams of all time. Davis and Fletcher, they've kind of mainly the European scene. They used to do a lot for Progress. I know currently they do a lot for OTT. They do a lot for Rev Pro. So yeah, I'm a big fan of Fletcher and Davies. If you watched some of my OTT vlogs, you would have seen them in the excuse me. You would have seen them in those vlogs. So I've seen a lot of Fletcher and Davis. They are currently a part of Will Ospreay's United Empire. I'm not really sure their status with New Japan. I know they did the recent US shows with New Japan. The ones with Moxley and Ospreay on it. I know they were on those shows. They've also worked Royal Quest, like back in 2019. They challenged for the IWGP Tag Team Championships back then. So yeah, they're part of the United Empire. So I'm including in this. They are working the recent US shows with New Japan. And they're a team that I love. I love watching them, whether it's in OTT, whether it's Rev Pro. And hopefully, now that now we can hopefully see a bit more of them in New Japan and maybe hopefully on this show. And I think the styles between FTR and Aussie Open would be an all-time classic tag team matchup that hands down, I really want to see this matchup. So that's why I'm including it on my list of matches that I would like to see. So yeah, FTR, Aussie Open, 2 of my favourite tag teams currently in professional wrestling. So yeah, why not? Pay-per-view, let them go at it and see who comes out on top. Next up, I've gone for a IWGP Junior Heavyweight Championship Fatal 4-Way with the current champion El Desperado. Let's just say he's going to go into the show still as champion, defending against New Japan's Hiromu Takahashi and AEW's Darby Allin and Jungle Boy. what more can I say? 4 fantastic professional wrestlers. You know, this will be a junior heavyweight championship match for the ages. Like, there's no way with talent in this matchup that this is a bad matchup. Especially if it's given 15-20 minutes. You know they'd put on something special. And yeah, I feel like Desperado and Darby, I feel like would be some good stuff, even if they were just did that one-on-one. Jungle Boy Hiromu would also be some good stuff. But yeah, like Hiromu Takahashi, El Desperado, Darby Allin, Jungle Boy, just listing off those names on paper, I don't see how like this ends up being a bad matchup. I believe we are now halfway through. I believe we've 5 left. And we're getting into the big boy matchups. You thought I had a stacked card already? Well, buckle up, because things are about to get interesting even more. Because next up, as you've already seen the graphic, it's the ace of New Japan, Hiroshi Tanahashi, versus Adam Cole, baby. I believe they have faced off before. They faced off on a ROH New Japan Global War show, where I believe, did Cole come out on top? I was looking at a cage match earlier while I was making these matchups to see if they have. It's happened at least once one-on-one, and they have had a couple of tag matches as well. But Adam Cole, Tanahashi, who again, like, even if it has happened once before in like 2017, 2018, 2022, it's completely different. Adam Cole, one of the best. Tanahashi, one of the greatest of all times. You know, one of the top, like, both men top of their like respective promotion scores, like in their upper tier. And yeah, Cole and Tanahashi will just be another 5-star classic matchup. Literally, I'm calling every match a classic and a 5-star because, of course, why wouldn't I? It's if I'm making fantasy matchups, a fantasy card that I would like to see. Of course, why wouldn't I book matches that I think would be 5-star classics? But yeah, Tanahashi and Cole, if that does happen one-on-one, you know what to expect. These two won't disappoint. I don't see any way where Tanahashi and Cole would disappoint. Alright, so next up, it's pretty much a dream match that a lot of people have been having for years, and this is probably the first opportunity we are going to see where the possibility of this match happens. The American Dragon, Bryan Danielson, versus Zack Sabre Jr., 2 of the best technical professional wrestlers in the business today. I know this has been a dream match I've seen a lot of people talk about before. And like, I know, like, when Bryan was talked to leaving the WWE, and like a lot of people were saying, oh, I'd love to see Bryan go to New Japan and face Zack Sabre Jr. And so would I, and that's why I'm booking it here. You like, this will be map-based offense, just trying to submit each other, working over the arms and legs of their opponent. This will be something special. This will be something good to see. And yes, Sabre versus Danielson. You're in for a treat with that one, especially if you're a fan of that like ground-based technical wrestling. Next up, again, kind of a match that there's been talks of before, and you know, with this show being in the United Center in CM Punk's hometown, we have to have him in a big match here, and we've put him against the aerial assassin, the Kingpin, Will Ospreay. Again, this match that I believe there's like an exchange between these two on Twitter before. I'm pretty sure Punk has talked somewhere before, it might be in an interview or something, about possibly wrestling Will Ospreay. So in Punk's hometown, why not get this dream match out of the way? Ospreay versus Punk. Yeah, and like, I don't really know what else much to say here, but other than this will be a killer matchup, and like I said, this has been a dream match that I know I've had, and I know a lot of people have kind of wanted to see for a long time, because there was exchanges between these two on Twitter, and you know, kind of talk of this before. So yeah, I feel like this is one of those matches where this is probably one of the ones that are if I was to say, if out of all the matches I've booked on this, this is probably the one I think is most likely to happen, based on everything I just said, with there being a bit of a kind of a history and kind of talk between the, like, kind of like a build between these already before saying they're both interested in this match. So yeah, I feel like if any of the matches I've booked are most likely, it will be this one, and I will not complain one bit seeing CM Punk square off against Will Ospreay. Next up, I've gone for an AEW World Heavyweight Championship match. As you can see, I'm still having Adam Page. I've kind of gone with the current champions, because it is June. Like, there's not much time. Maybe like Hangman can lose the belt to Punk at Double or Not, because I feel like that's where they're going. And then going into June, you can maybe switch around, have Hangman and Punk for the, or Punk and Ospreay for the belt, and Hangman just have a different matchup. But I'm going to keep the champions as they are, just for the sake of things, and it kind of lines up with what I want anyway. So yeah. So AEW World Heavyweight Championship match, Adam Hangman Page challenging the Dragon Shingo Takagi, former IWGP World Heavyweight Champion. I feel like this would be a great styles clash as well. I feel like Hangman and Shingo, their styles would mesh perfectly. Big fan of Shingo, love Adam Page as well. And yeah, like I'm saying, I just feel like the styles clash between these two, their styles will match each other. They'll fit perfectly, and they'll deliver a title match that people will not be let down by. And yeah, I feel like this is a match that I would really like to see. It'd be hard hitting, there'd be great action, big moves, and yeah, Shingo and Hangman, that would be a big one. Then, the main event, I've gone for Jon Moxley challenging Kazuchika Okada for the IWGP World Heavyweight Championship. I've gone for Moxley and Okada because, again, it's just a match I would like to see, and it hasn't happened before. I know Moxley's done a lot of stuff with New Japan, but looking at Cage Match, they've only like teamed up once on like some like New Beginning show or something. I don't have it in front of me, but yeah, I believe they've only like been in one tag team match together, and I believe they were on the same side, if I'm remembering that correctly. So these two, to my knowledge, have never squared off toe to toe, face to face, and yeah, I feel like a big matchup like that, worthy of a main event at this show. And yeah, I'd have Okada retain. Of course, I've gone for Moxley as well, because Moxley he still does stuff with New Japan. He does both. He regularly like wrestles for New Japan, so I can feel like he can earn that like spot as becoming like it would be believable to have Moxley in the main event spot like this, where like, okay, Moxley, he still does stuff with New Japan, so maybe they might switch the belt here, but in the end I'd have the Rainmaker come out on top, and as he's celebrating, cutting his like thank you promo, we get the return of the cleaner, Kenny Omega, the best belt machine. I don't know his injury status, I will say that. This is just me being hopeful. This is the fantasy booking element coming into this. So yeah, I'd have like this match close the show as Okada's closing the show. Kenny's music hits, he comes out, squares down Okada toe to toe, challenges him for a match at the next, whether, I don't know, it can be the next big AEW show, which would probably be All In, or All Out. All Out. All In was the one they did before they became AEW. Or maybe it could happen at the next big New Japan show. But either way, it will set up another matchup then between Okada and Omega. And of course, who doesn't want to see Okada and Omega tear the house down one more time? And yeah, so that's it for this video. It's kind of like my 10 matches, well, kind of 11, because I gave one honorary mention of matches that I would love to see at this Forbidden Door pay-per-view between New Japan and AEW. Let me know in the comment section below. Do you agree with some of the matches I've booked? What would your fantasy card be? And are you excited for the show overall? Let me know all that in the comment section below. If you did enjoy this video, please smash that like button, hit the subscribe button if you haven't already, and I will see you in the next one.